Hello, children. Wounded Cappy. There you go. See, I tried to do manual labor. I remember doing manual labor one time. Actually, when you own a home, you will do manual labor all the time. But I got a paper cut by a box. Or no, like a man, there were no band-aids or first aid kits, but there is duct tape and toilet paper, which has served me well. And then the women look at you like, "What are you doing? Oh my God!" A little drop of blood. What's going on? That's not a band-aid. That's more painful than this. Be quiet. Thank you. But thankfully, I did it when no one was here. So. Oh, what a rebel. All right, we got an interesting question here. Brian writes, how will all the money we're spending on this pandemic affect the United States? Hey, Aaron, I have 3 theories on how America is going to possibly make up for all the money it's losing by being semi-closed and all the money they're printing out for stimulus checks and bailouts due to the pandemic. 1, we give the entire bill to China, who reportedly created and lied about the virus, and or cut back on foreign aid spending. That won't even come close to steamed urine, a drop of steamed urine compared to what we just printed off. Foreign aid is very little. We could say we're not paying China back the debt they lent to, the money they lent to us to buy our bonds. We could say, well, those bonds with those QSIP numbers are null and void. But cutting back on foreign aid, and we could give them a bill. They're not going to pay it. You just say, okay, well, I guess we're not paying you on. We estimate this cost us $6 trillion. Look, you have $7 trillion of our national debt. Let's call it even. And then China would be very upset. But that would probably destroy the creditworthiness of the United States. That people would be like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't buy any more U.S. bonds. They'd be like Argentina. But given how the world of lenders are a bunch of dip bleeps, I'm going to try not to curse on this one. You look at Argentina, boy, we can't wait to lend them money. Are we going to lend more money to Greece, huh? So who knows? 2, the politicians kick the can down the road to younger generations, giving them a bleepy low job growth, a more high-tax economy, minimizing the negative impact on the current economy. We could amortize it out. That's probably what we're going to do. 3, America gets hard with super inflation, high unemployment right away, and everything goes to crap. Maybe the world's reserve currency will save our behinds. Your thoughts? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Kind of none of the above and some of the above. Here's what's going to happen. It's the same. We've done this before. We've done this before in a recession that was much, much worse and really affected a much more key important sector of our economy, housing. I don't know if you guys remember this. This happened about 12 years ago. And what we did is we printed off a ton of money. There was no investment demand. There was no people. There was actually a very low consumer demand because everyone's just getting foreclosed on. They were panicking. The velocity of money tanked. Consumer spending went down. And then slowly but surely, the American taxpayer got their money back as the Fed balance sheet unwound. Those mortgage-backed securities and housing prices went up, but not adjusted for inflation. But we've done this before, and I think Obama doubled the money supply under his watch, or maybe it was 4 times. But it was more than a doubling, and no one saw any inflation. Now, a little bit of that is due to the fact that we're the world's reserve currency. We could export our inflation. That goes doubly so today, where we're the United States, everybody can line up to suck our dick. And our main competitor to the world reserve currency is where this disease occurred. And that has wreaked havoc on the Chinese economy. So the dollar has and will remain strong, I think, in the near-term future, which I've already written a post about this. If we want to take the opportunity, not only should we be printing off the money to give to people who, didn't save up enough money for, 7 years feast, 7 years famine, but we should print off now. Now, I'm not against government saying, oh, you want this loan? Well, we get an equity position in your company. I'm actually for that, even though that is kind of communism. I'm for it under the understanding that you would take positions in these companies and sell them at a profit at a later point. But the problem is that opportunity only lasted maybe 2 weeks when the stock market was down by 33%. Now it's fully recovered. So I don't even think the government would be getting a good deal. But the government could take a position within these companies. It has every right to. Every right. It has every right, as far as I'm concerned, to say, oh, would you like this stimulus thing? Well, then you get to pay more in taxes. We get a higher percentage of your income because you guys are parasites. But this is a repeat of the last time with nowhere near the crippling decay and weakness of the financial crisis and the housing crisis. There's nothing. I know a lot of you are thinking, but it's atrophying. Some of these jobs are never coming back. A lot of these jobs were going away. I don't know if you knew this about small businesses, but they can't manage their companies for crap. I was a banker. I looked at small business owners. They're idiots. They're morons. Every great once in a while, 1 in 10 of them will get a good company and do good business. All right, cool for them. But for the most part, these companies, we haven't done anything fundamentally to undermine the structure, the long-term capability, the long-term infrastructure of the United States economy. If anything, I'm surprisingly optimistic about this economy. I think it's great because every one of these companies that didn't save up 3 months cash are now fire sailing their productive assets. Hertz just filed for bankruptcy. Guess everyone's getting cheap cars, huh, guys? That's good. Cheap cars are good. It helps poor people. Cash for clunkers, that crippled poor people's purchasing power. But, black man do good thing. Oh, affirmative action president, bow down, bow down. He can do no wrong. But also, J.C. Penney? Oh, like they were going to be around. The Ma Pa T. It's been my dream to run a restaurant. Really crappy lady? Did you cash out your 401k? The assets are still there, so new entrepreneurs who are hopefully better businessmen and businesswomen will go and buy those assets up for a fraction of the cost. And so if you're saying they're building property, plant, equipment, inventory, machinery, all that is half off, you mean their operating costs will be lower and that will jack up our purchasing power? So there'll be a deflationary effect actually happening on what I think will be consumer items, even going out. I think so. But where the inflation will occur is going to be where it did the last time. That's asset prices. I even wrote a whole post about it. No one read my post. You guys want to read my post? Read my post. Or if you don't want, where is that post? Well, then get one of my best of books, Captain Capitalism Top Shelf, Captain Capitalism Reserved, and Love Letters to the Left. It's available on Amazon, paperback, and Kindle. And that's all my best posts. But I pointed out, look, that's right. I think we quadrupled the money supply between Trump and Obama. Obama's 2 terms, and then I think Trump. And what was it? The stock market quadrupled. Tuition went up 3-fold. Housing prices, went up 300% from their low, of course. That's where the money goes. And we'll explain Basic Economics 101. Money printer go burr. Money is given to millions, now literally hundreds of millions. Your stimulus checks, your defense contractors. Never forget the welfare moms. Yes, I know welfare is TANF. I'm talking all forms of welfare, Social Security, all the government make work job. Whoever gets a government check, whoever gets it, money printer go burr. Take the money. We give it to people who are sucking on it. They're sucking. Like the money printer at the Federal Reserve is not a printer. It's formed in a financial. It's like a teat. And then the parasites of society suck off of it. Strong, independent, don't need no man. I need more government money. All right. So whoever gets it, from the soldier to the welder building a federal building to a welfare bum to your boomer parents collected Social Security, they all get the government checks. They get me the gimme that's. Now they take that money, and what do they do with it? Oftentimes they don't actually get it. What happens? It goes right into the bank account. Right? What do banks do, boys and girls? Well, banks lend money. Okay, they take depositors' money, or printed off federal money because why borrow the Fed? Why? Why get? And never mind. And they pay you guys, 0.5% or 0.25%, if that. So that's what you lent them your money. It's deposited in the bank. They pay you this pittance of amount and they lend it out at a higher interest rate. That's how banks make money. Well, why would you lend money? Well, usually because people don't have the cash to afford what they want to buy. And what are the major things people buy with debt, with loans? What are they, when you go to a bank for a loan, what are you usually borrowing money for the bank for? Well, there's only 4 or 5 main categories. Housing, college/tuition, a car, cargo vroom, housing, tuition, car, and then usually medical debt, because but that's somehow, it could be financed by other things in intermediate, like credit card debt, consumer spending too. There was a fourth one. Healthcare. Healthcare is in there. What was that? There's another thing that went up, and so anyway, all the money made 2 stops, probably only one, before it was dumped into the financial market. Oh, that's what it was: investment in retirement or corporate buybacks ends up in the stock market. So the banks, you may not have even seen it. Money printer go burr. Parasites and government employees. If it even got there, even if they touched the money, it probably went direct deposit, and then the bank lent it back out to those 4 major categories, because that's the lines. You look at any bank's balance sheet, you'll see that they've lent it out on real estate, tuition. Well, not the banks anymore. That's the government. But that's a different lending market. Stocks, the larger commercial banks will lend money to corporations, buy it back, and health insurance or healthcare costs. And gee, what's happened to stocks, housing, healthcare, and tuition? Oh, they've all gone up to be dappy. Oh my God, Aaron, you're like this genius effing economist. No, I just pay F attention. So yeah, okay, video games are still about, $60 a pop for a AAA release. A Big Mac is still $4. Your gallon of gas actually has gone down. A gallon of milk, I don't know what that is. I don't know who buys milk at this age. But, there's no inflation. But then you all whine and complain about tuition and rent and housing costs and millennials being priced out of the market. And that's what's going to happen this time. There may be a lull. There may be a time that the stock market goes down a little bit. Oh gosh, I got laid off. There might be a temporary pause. There'll be a flattening, even a drop in these asset prices. But the banks will be awash in cash. They're going to have practically zero borrowing costs from the Federal Reserve and the people. No one's going to want to really go buy anything. You can't buy anything unless it's on Amazon. But once people get a little bit more faith in the economy, I think people are pounding, going bleeping insane to get out. I think the economy is going to come roaring back. It depends on how much and which states open. Let's just say the Republican states are going to come roaring back. The Democrats are the ones who are going, no, my precious, the virus, my precious, my power. So they'll continue to be really sucky states. So I just got back from Utah. It's great. Everything's open. It's like, oh, wow, we're adults here. Hey, how's it going? Hey. I actually had a waitress wait on me. There was no tape on the floors. They just gave me my food, and oh my gosh, no one died. I don't even have a look. Everything's fine. So I think the economy is actually going to come roaring back. And I don't even think I've talked to my realtor friends. I talked to my mortgage buddy friends. There's not even a slowdown. This is a temporary hiccup, depending on how long Democrat governors want to, do the but never do the up. Everyone's on the couple Republican governors up. Let's go. Come on. Chumma. The Democrat governors, too much power. Too much power. But it'll come back. It will be a very, very, on the numbers, it's going to be a very sharp recession. It'll look, oh my gosh, look at that. But I think if you go back to 1952, we had a horrific spike in unemployment, and I think a drop in GDP, and I think that was the polio pandemic they have. This is going to be a blip. That's just I could be wrong. I don't know how long the Democrats, more conspiratorial people think the Democrats are trying to like close their states until the presidential election. I highly doubt that, but by gosh, it wouldn't doubt me. The mayor of Minneapolis, where I used to live, he's like, now if you come to Minneapolis without a mask, you could get arrested. It's like, are things going down? Are you a little Johnny come lately here? Okay, we won't go to the town we weren't going to go to anyway because you can't keep your thugs and your criminals from beating up the suburb people. All right. Oh, wait, can we go watch there's not even a reason to go downtown because the sports bowl ain't playing. Hey, let me pay $15 for a scoop of ice cream at Trader Joe's. Oh, let me pay $25 for parking. Just not because that's what I have to pay for parking. That's the ticket you're going to give me because you keep effing with the rules and the laws. Never mind. No, it's going to be a repeat of the years from 2009 to 2014, 2015. A little drop, if that even. Depends how quickly you come back. And then that money will find its way into asset prices again. Housing, real estate, stocks, bonds, but it'll be lower yields. That's how you measure the price of a bond. Tuition, that's interesting because now you can't go to actual school physically anymore, but maybe next year, not this year, but next year, it'll come back. But I have a feeling, I'm real curious what's going to happen with colleges. I don't dare call it higher education because it's not higher, it's not education. It's worthless. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's where the money's going to go. Because inevitably everything channels through the banking system, and banks take that money. They take a little bit from you, a little bit from Frank, a little bit from Jill, a little bit from Joe, and they lend it to Steve for his dude, bro. I got a used Beamer. I got an MVA, but I need to borrow it. I did a consolidation, man. Like I like graduated with honors from the Carlson School of Management, my degree in finance, man. And like, so I took my student loans, I took the car loan, and they bundle it up, they refinance stuff, man. And like, I probably won't pay it back because I didn't get that job at Cargill. Yeah, and then you, whoever you lent it to, Steve, was it? You're going to lend your money to Steve so he can live the dude bro lifestyle, get himself a sweet pad over in Uptown. And it's going to drive up rents. It's going to drive up houses. It's going to drive up car prices. Maybe tuition. How many people might go get their MBAs? I don't know. I hope that's getting on there. So yeah, that's all that's going to happen. And then you'll price yourself out of kind of some key important things. Education, maybe. I'm hoping the world wakes up now and realizes you could get education for free online or near free. But cars and houses and stocks. In other words, housing is going to go up because that's the number one lending market. Stocks are going to go up. Companies, Starbucks bought back, I think, was it 50 billion? Something, I don't know. Some egregious, they bought back their stock. I'm like, I hate you as a company, but that was a brilliant move. See how long stock prices stayed down? And so retirement's going to be priced out of young people's reach. Housing and rent are going to be priced out of your reach. If you are dumb enough to now go back and borrow money for school and tuition, when it should be painfully obvious you don't need to. And then I think, there's going to be a glut of cars hitting the market now. But give it a year or so, and we're going to see what was it? The average price of cars, $36,000. You're going to easily see it at $42,000. Above, let's just say, keep it round numbers, $40,000 by 3-4 years from now. House is going to go up by whatever percent, I don't know. I'm going to be curious what mortgage rates are going to be like. And China would just be happy to be producing our stuff. China should be very happy if we buy any more stuff from them. And that's it. All right. I got a ton of requests. We got any super chats today? Got one there. All right. Let's go get that. DJ Aftershock for $5. I have a spoiled brat cousin who's a sports journalist. Right there. Tell him I said hi. This person's dad is the CEO of a hospital who makes around $1.5 million annually. Suck on thumb. Yeah. Let me guess. He has some opinions. Oh, I just spent some of the week with an actual athlete, and God bless her, but man, these professional athletes do not see the big picture. It's all their sport or nothing. This guy ain't even an athlete. At least she's got that. This guy just sounds like a douche. Non-stop trade for $5. What do you think would happen if China got cut off completely from the U.S. completely? What would happen if 25% of people with debt file for what? Well, why don't you send me $45, Dre? I'll answer these very quickly, but not thoroughly. Well, we'd have a lot of inflation then, because where are we going to get our cheap electronics, trinkets, and toys and clothing and practically everything else? So we'd have a lot of inflation. China would, I don't know what they'd do. They'd have a massive reset. They'd have a reset, and they may even go to war. I don't know what point that would serve them, but yeah, for all of China's faults, China and the United States have actually had a pretty good relationship, at least in terms of trade. Could be better, but what would happen if 25% of people with debt filed for bankruptcy? I don't know. That's what happened in 2007, 2008. Dre, the answer to everything is now money printer go burr. Okay, we just print off more money, and the Federal Reserve will play Jesus. It will be, oh, U.S. Federal Reserve, who taketh away the bankruptcy of people who spent too much money in America. Give us more money. The Federal Reserve would just print off more money and bail those, make the lenders whole. And then the deadbeats and the losers would just go on and like, oh, I declared bankruptcy. You know anyone that declared bankruptcy back in the housing crisis? How are they doing now? I remember a couple of friends of mine actually filed for bankruptcy because they couldn't. No, they didn't file for it. They let the bank take the thing because the bank would not refinance them. And they're like, you know what? Screw you. We're done. We're not doing it. And then the Federal Reserve came in and made that lender whole. And they're fine. I think they got like a new credit card, like 3 months later. Bankruptcy, dude, there's no honor or morals anymore. No one cares if you file for bankruptcy. Most people don't even know what bankruptcy is. Money printer go burr. That is the average knowledge and intelligence of your average American when it comes to economics. William, for 10 British pounds, which is a good amount of money. If supply and demand was real, wouldn't our currency be worthless simply by virtue of public's confidence in it being next to nil? We all know it's fiat, and they print more whenever it's in. Yes, but you have to understand, William, we are the best. What was it? We're the last horse in the glue factory. For as bad as the United States is, every country is worse. And the United States also has the benefit of being the world's largest economy. Like, if Switzerland wanted to print off a ton of stuff, they don't have the economic production to act as a reservoir to back up all the Swiss francs they print off. In the United States, we are, I think, roughly a third of global GDP. Not to mention we got the world's biggest military. If you don't do what we say, we might just invade you. So that's what gives the US dollar its world reserve currency status. And another huge thing, which is kind of relatively good for us, but it will change over time. We're relatively uncorrupt. We are by far the largest and least corrupt economy in the world. And any economy that would come close is horrendously corrupt. India, China, Russia, Brazil, sizable economies, horrendously corrupt. Even Japan, horrendously corrupt. And Europe, what's Europe going to do? Europe. Oh, Europe, right, sure. Okay. So, and everybody, all the other central banks are printing off money left and right because money printer go burr. And but we actually have the economic production. You ever notice like the exchange rate? I remember like Italy had the Italian lira, and it was like 8,000 to 1. And Turkey at one time had 20,000 to 1. And I don't know what the Zimbabwe. You can't do that if you don't have the world's largest economy and the world's reserve currency. People aren't demanding your currency internationally to settle trade in, or as a safe haven. But we're going to prove off more, and we can get away with it. You should be very thankful we get to export all of our pain and agony to the rest of the world. So yeah, we are they say you're the last horse in the glue factory, or as another person so eloquently put it, you're the hottest fat chick at the party. Or you're the hottest chick at a party of fat. You're the hottest chick at a party of fat chicks. And so, yeah, well, I guess you're gonna get you got the best deal. All right. Anything else? Oh. Well, hang on, guys. I got more videos to do, of course. DJ Aftershock. By the way, the journalist is a she. Oh, great. Do we need a woman's perspective now on this? I'm sure she will do just. Oh God, she's got to be insufferable. A rich girl who's a sports journalist. I'm sorry, a rich dad's girl who's a sports journalist. Oh, don't he? Oh, I'd rather go play with the Scorpions. I'd rather do that. All right, more videos coming up. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.